Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. A few minutes. There we go. So, welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm going to try and keep this. I always say I'm going to try and keep this short, but it doesn't always happen. I think I need some lipstick, don't you? Yeah, let's put some lipstick on. Everybody needs a little bit of lipstick, you know? Maybe not everybody, but I need a little bit of lipstick. Okay. So, what do we have? We have a lot going on right now, and there's a lot of focus that's happening on right today. So we have Venus is going to be coming stationary. I think that's going to be next week. But right now, there's the Sun opposite Saturn. We have when okay, that's why I brought up Venus. The reason I brought up Venus is because when Venus stops and goes stops to go direct 12 hours later, Jupiter, I gotta get my thoughts here. My Jupiter goes retrograde, and that's not going to be for another week or so. And then we have Mars in Libra, and he's going to be there for a month and a half for us to figure things out and focus, especially with the South Node. We have the oddest angles that are going on in our astrology right now and dealing with so much intel, so much information coming in. But I feel like it's crazy because we've had some crazy yods, and we've had some, quincunx. Quincunxes can be very difficult. And I just feel like there's so many different levels of energy that's coming in right now for us, and on multi levels that are very much galactical and celestial. So there's all of this types of roadways coming in. If you've ever seen Thor and the rainbow, the rainbow road kind of thing going in, it's like kind of like these roads coming in and out. So there's a lot of energy coming in and out, and it's where we're really entering into this frontier energy, and it's more intense places. More is coming in with this energy. A lot's going out and a lot's coming in, but this portal that's there that we are going through and people are coming in, it's kind of like this descent, and we got to pay more attention to ourselves and our nerves within our body, and especially with Venus energy. Venus is sort of the Venus is not Venus. Virgo is sort of the nerve. I got to get my thoughts here. Nerves of the earth. So she is the harvest. We come into Virgo, and it is the harvest energy. We're entering into that harvest, and when she's opposite with the Pisces energy, that is the ether, that is the beyond, that is the expansion of the divine, and coming in with the connection of the divine coming into the connection to the earth and bringing that earthly connection. And we have Uranus. I was just learned about this one today from the Leo King, and she's called Urania. She's one of the 9 muses, but she's a muse who wants to know about knowledge. She's a knowledgeable muse. She really wants to consume the information. Now she's been with Venus. She's now moving into Virgo, so she's going into watching and processing. She's soaking up all of this knowledge. So there's a lot of knowledge. It's a time of gaining a lot of knowledge, a lot of information that's coming in as we're setting up to go into some really crazy retrograde energies. Now I've been asked, a lot of talk about lockdowns. Oh, we're going to be locked down. It's not in the astrology. Just saying, it's not in the astrology. Yes, in the States and stuff, that they're now talking about mask mandates and stuff, and all the propaganda about mask mandates and all this kind of bullshit. So this is going to be coming down the pipeline, and there's something else is at play. There's something else that, with all of this information and all of this coming in, there's something else coming in, right? Some other energy. Hello, something else coming forward. So what is that? And they're trying to play, of course, they're playing the C one. And this is where, for me, I just like, there is, and I mentioned it, if you bought my thing at the beginning of the year of my 5-year predictions of what that plague that's going to be coming in over the next few years. Now, right now, we are going to be going through the craziest times this September, October. It's going to be gnarly. It's going to be, especially financially. There's going to be a lot that's going to be happening financially in the world. It's already happening finances. This is going to be, when people are talking about lockdowns and stuff like that, it's like, the reason I don't see it is that because of the financial issues and what's going on financially within, especially, well, everywhere in the world. And this could be possibly something to do with the war that's coming into. I know the war is coming in quite strongly with this astrology and astrologically replaying the lockdowns and stuff like that. No, no, it's not going to happen. The only way I can see it's with a military lockdown, right? And the military lockdown and what the military lockdown will look like. And that could be with, as I said, with those people who've had their elixirs and stuff, whatever is coming out with this new C, got to be so discriminated. Yeah. Anyways, what's ever coming out with the new strain, that it could cause, I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying anything like that, but I'm just saying hypothetically, this could happen, and that would bring a military lockdown, because the military lockdown with a strain of a new variant, and let's say people start dropping dead, 50% of the population started dropping dead, which is crazy. It's crazy thought. It's crazy thought. Then you're going to see a military actions coming in. That's what you would see. And the thing is that, because of a strain that's mutated to the antibody strain and the cells of those who are elixired. So with that happening, that could be a scenario that could happen. And the thing is that I'm not saying that it's happening, but that's the only way I could see anything like people are talking about. That's the only way I could see it. Okay. And that would bring in martial law. That's the only way. So people are, and the thing is that if people are falling underneath the spell again and falling with the spell, and they're coming out that this new elixir is better and it's greater than what it was before, and that could really cause death, with everything. So, using this as fear, and this is where it's like, you got to start, really taking a look and being very questionable when you're hearing these things, and I mean, I was looking at TikTok or whatever, and people were talking about it. I'm just like, no, this is not, it's not, I, as I base things on the astrology. If it's not in the astrology, sorry, it's that's what I go by. That's where the predictions are. That's where the energy is. And I haven't been wrong so far. The thing is, people don't like the truth. They don't like to hear the truth. They don't like it when somebody comes out and tells them things that they don't want to hear, that they don't want to listen to, because it's fresh. It goes against their inner core. It goes against what they feel, right? And what they feel is their truth. And this is coming in to when we're seeing banks are going under. Like, there's 5 banks right now in the United States that are starting to be impacted. So the thing is, with all of these different banks, and you don't think it's going to have anything to do with Canada, some of our banks are associated with these banks through either lending programs or through long-term loans that they have done. So this does affect Canada. This does affect our economy in many, many ways. But you know, you don't think about it, or you don't want to think about it. But this is where, like, there's a big story. The S&P has downgraded some big banks, 5 that are impacted, and what these banks are associated with. Who are they associated with? They're associated with not only different states, but some of them are associated with different banks up here in Canada. So this is where we have to start really looking at it, because there could be, the other thing I could see is a bank lockdown. There could be a bank lockdown. So no one doing any lending. There's very little lending that's coming in, either business loans, car loans, or anything like that. If they are, they're really radical. They're radical. And that's because people are going in the panic. Well, I need to buy a house now. I need this now. I think you're crazy. I think you need to wait. Interest rates are going to be going up again. I got at least 5 more times for interest rates to go up. So we're going to be starting to see some crazy things when it comes to the economy, and when it comes to a lot to do with our banking system and how the banking system is. And this is, where a lot of fear is going to come in, a lot of panic's going to come in for people. Again, I go back to everything that I've said before, everything that I've told people to do before. It's coming full forward, to be really prepared with what you need to do for oneself. The thing is that you're looking around at different things that are happening right now in the world. I mean, even with Maui, with Canada, the forest fires, were these attacks? Are they, what's happening with all of this? The thing is that they're not going to tell the public. They're not going to say anything, but truth is going to come out, especially with Mars and in Libra with the South Node. So there's something that's going to come out there. So there is a lot to do with the fires and how those fires were started. What that thing, with the blue and the lasers and all of that, things are going to be exposed, right? And it is weird. I watch I'm following a person from Maui. He's a realtor, and he's bringing out some really good information, what's happening with in there, and how people have been blocked to not get out of their areas and stuff, and having different interviews with different people. Even he today or yesterday he talked about, the children. Where are the children? But where's the cry from the parents? And the parents cry. The thing is that we're asking the question, but we're not hearing anything from parents there, right? So we need to hear more what's going on. They're trying to make sure that no information gets out. There is still no internet or anything that's there in Maui, which is why. There's just so many crazy things that are going on. And happening there, right down to what's happening in the Shuswap, in the Kamloops area, in the Okanagan Valley. So this is where it's like, okay, how did these all start? People are saying, oh, well, they're lightning strikes. Nobody saw any lightning strikes. But anyways, so is there some kind of weird attack happening on these countries? But they're not going to let you know. They're not going to say anything. Craziness about of the guy with Vanguard, the head guy from Vanguard. Something, his plane fell out of the sky, blew up, supposedly dead. So, so leave that there where that is. But this is where there's going to be a lot more craziness that's going to come in, and people are going to be tripping out. So there's a lot of tripping out type of energy that's out there right now. And this is where you're not to get all the information right now, and a lot is going to be coming in. So there is a lot that is going to be unfolding over the next couple days, couple weeks, and as we go into September, October, when things get really gnarly. So this is, and especially when we're coming into the Pluto return to the United States. So we are heading into some really gnarly, tense energies that are there that could erupt in eruptions. That's what we're going to say. Could erupt in some eruptions. So this is really for us to fully remember and what's important to us is to really take our time with what we are doing within our own lives, and knowing that, we want to be efficient, we want to have that efficiency, especially with Pluto being in Capricorn. We want to have the efficiency, but we can't be tripping out right now. There's so much that's going to be unfolding over the next several days as we are going into the fall. So some really tripping out kind of energy, and there's a lot more coming in for us. And it feels like it's like this highway coming in, and so much information. And this is where, when I found about this beautiful dwarf planet Urania, is like saying that we really have to take the time to really get the knowledge that we need before you look at things. But as I said, people are tripping out about lockdowns. They might be pushing a mask mandate or some kind of stupid shit like that, but not anything else. If anybody wants to go into this with more detail and form a group or something and stuff, let me know. And because certain things I just can't say on YouTube or on Instagram. So I just, because there's a lot that there's a lot here that I've am uncovering and learning and getting the knowledge about. Yet it's a lot of it where people like, when I started doing more of my predictions and coming out with my predictions, even in 2016 and 2017, and my first one, I was talking about markets and not going to do markets and stuff, and a lot of people were upset with me, and I was just like, no, I can't do this. The markets are dead, right? I meant like, people going to craft markets and stuff, and that there's going to be some mass lockdowns and huge changes coming into the world, and people are going to fall under a spell, and they're going to be, falling for an elixir, and this elixir is going to cause mutations within the body and cause people to be sick, and we're going to discover that people are going to be, within a few years after that, within 5 years, people are going to have weird cancers, people are going to be dropping dead. Now they're coming out with a brand new elixir, something new, that they say, well, it's better, you better take this one. And this is where we're going to find, especially when you look at the world itself, 90% of the world has taken it, and they're not focused on the unvaxxed. They're only focused on the vaxxed. If you watch, they're only focused on that. And this is what people don't want to hear. Because a lot of people will start running out, because they're going to say, well, I want to go on that vacation again. I want to do this. I want to do that. But the unfolding, what's going to happen is the other side is not pretty. The other side is not a pretty sight. And that's the only way I could see anything happening when it comes to lockdowns, especially when you have 5 banks in the S&P, the grading of the United States going down again, or will be going down again. The downgrades that are coming in, some big banks that's been impacted. I mean, the economy could not take anything like that. So, yeah. Put that over there. So there you go. Now, I don't know who this I don't even know how to say your name, but I think she's gone anyways. She's funny. What did she say? Girl, you need a smoking that Zara. Lockdowns are over. I didn't. So the person wasn't listening to what I was saying. So, yeah. I love it when somebody comes in, but anyways. Oh, wow. Anyways, my brain is kind of scattered and all over the place today, and trying to sort of like, with a lot of information in that's coming forward for myself. And one of the things that is really good to play is It's the 582 hertz, which is really nice. So that's you can probably hear it on YouTube. I'm not sure if you can hear it on my because I haven't shared it on for YouTube, but you could probably hear it on Instagram. But the 582 hertz, it's really you don't have to have it very loud, but just having it in the background can bring in a lot of calmness. It brings in deep healing for you. So the first card I got is the Five of Gabriel. So the Five of Wands comes in. And there's challenges, so you need to look at the challenges that are coming in and allow yourself to withdraw from any drama that's going on. And it's like cut, clear, delete, get the fear out of here. Have patience with yourself and those around you because a lot of people aren't going to understand the overwhelmness that they're going to be feeling, especially today because it is the three-quarter square of the moon. So there is going to be that overwhelmness that's going to come in. So the Five of Gabriel is coming forward to let you know that the challenges can be resolved, but you're not going to get all the answers that you want right now. The information is not going to be all there. This is where you really have to take in and start taking in a lot of the knowledge because so much is coming in, you know about the forest fires, about what's happening in Maui's a big one. I keep on bringing up Maui, and the reason why I bring up Maui, and some people will say to me, "Oh, that's the United States, blah, blah, blah. You got stuff happening in Canada." Maui is a heart place. It is a heart frequency. And it is a place where a lot of energy is centralized within the world. It is an energetic islands, right? And when you really look in to see what went on there and the atrocities that have happened, it's it's where you really have to get in all the knowledge and find out all the knowledge and you know understand the fire, understand the heat of the fire, understand all of this is getting in the knowledge. Same with what's happening within the Okanagan Valley, but I don't think the Okanagan Valley isn't, yes, things are burning, but it's not to the intensity of what happened in Maui. It is I'm not trying to take away from it, but I feel like either or all of it is some kind of attack in some sort, but they don't want the people to know because they don't want to cause panic. So it's almost like this is warfare, but warfare in a different way, right? And there's yeah, I know there's this that's over here and people are just going to play into that and the fear, because if you think of 90% of the population, 90% of the population fell under the spell in the world. 90%. And that's what scares me. Is 90% of the population fell under the spell. For whatever reason they did it. You know, and this is where those people are going to be the ones that are going to be targeted for this new one that's coming forward. This is where the energy is going to be. And this is where, and I said in my predictions, if you did not get my predictions, because some of my predictions are pretty gnarly and they're fucking scary, especially with Pluto going, when Pluto, goes back and stops in October and he starts heading back into Aquarius. This is where it's going to bring in some really gnarly, crazy entities. And I say entities because the entities are something with that has to do with something alien, whatever that alien is, energy is, and something that's coming forth. And I think part and whatever's in that elixir, I think there's something alien in there, baby. Call me crazy. And there's something that people don't want to think about. And I think this is where the challenges, you can resolve them, but you got to withdraw from the drama. You got to withdraw from the drama that's going on, because there is an attack. There's an attack on humanity. There's attack on our country that is happening now. But it's very difficult to see when it's not in your face, when it's not happening to you right now. But you're going to feel the effects. The effects you're going to feel is when you go to the grocery store, when you get your utility bill, when you go to renew your mortgage. And you're going to find that they are not wanting to do a 3-year term or a 5-year term anymore. That's going to be the gnarly shit that's going to come forward, because the banks are going to need money now, because of the bonds and stuff that they invested in long term aren't giving them the return that they want. So this is where, again, you got to get the information. You got to educate yourself on this shit that's coming forward. And in comes the eight of swords. You could be free. There's a freedom there with that, but you got to make the courage. This is the courage, the choice to change your situations. This is for you to see things clearly. That's where it is, because September and October are going to be fucked up, especially financially. I said from the beginning of the year that this is going to be a financial year, and this is going to really send people down a crazy road. You're going to be seeing less car loans, less business loans for people. If they're trying to get a business loan for something, it's going to be very difficult for them to get. You're going to see people getting insurance cut. So some insurance agencies are not giving out insurance anymore because they don't have the money. If something devastated, if Hillary hit California the way that they said it was going to hit, would have caused huge devastation, especially within the financial market. California is like its own country. It's like one of the 5th largest producing places in the world. It's one of the top 5. It's California. It's a state. So we got to think, if that happened, I mean, there's so many insurance companies would not be able to fulfill their obligations. Right now, what's happening in Hawaii, I mean, they don't have internet. They're supposed to be filling out forms for their homes to get, whatever it is for their insurance. They can't even get onto the computer, right? So there's just so much there. So many blocks that they're trying to stop people. And that's where the thing is like, we're going to see that you have to have courage to look at things and change the situation, find new ways of doing it. If some of those people didn't go through the barricades or drive around the barricades, they would be dead. Just because there's a barricade there, just because they say you can't go there, but you have to be on the other side. You have to have the courage to find your way to get to the other side. You have to. And this is where you're going to find how things can be resolved. And in comes the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is very enthusiastic. You got to have that courage. You got to have that suave. This is where you got to take that action within your life and get the information and use the information, utilize the information. The more you gain within yourself, the more knowledge you have. The more knowledge you have, the more you can go forward with it. And that's where we're at. You have to get the knowledge. TikTok you can get some stuff. There's some crazy fucked up shit on TikTok, but you really have to look into shit yourself. You can't just take a TikTok video and say, oh, this is what happened. No, find other people who are there. Like, the thing is, I know people are telling me about lasers and stuff like that. And I listened to one of the top generals who's retired right now, who is saying that, one, the United States doesn't have that, to do that. But who says other countries do not, right? And where that comes from. And where one guy, he was showing me a test that he was doing over the paper that I've been following from Maui, and that they showed all the blues in Hawaii that didn't burn. Things that were blue cars, still intact. Blue roofs, Still intact. So there's just weird, but you got to do your investigation. You got to find out your investigation. Um, Tucker Carlson just did an interview on the 21st with a colonel, and he's been on Redacted as well. Awesome, awesome interview that he did. Lots of information that's there. And he speaks truth. Like, he's just, the way he talks, very military, he talks with the facts that and he's still in the know, even though he's retired, because he's still got a lot of people who call him up to find out things. What should we do? So it's where, again, finding out the information and the knowledge. Like, some of the people that I had as clients in the last few months who are in the military are talking to me anymore because they can't, because there's so much that's happening and so much mobilization that's happening right now. So we have to look at what we need to take action and bring in that passion, right? And this is instinctively knowing, understanding that you got to listen to that inner being, listen to that gut feeling. This is what I got to do, and really, make that courageous choice to change the situation. What is that choice? Well, in changing it, is there something that you got to learn? Yeah, there's probably a huge learning curve. So you got to gain the knowledge that you need to make the changes within your life and do that. And overall, it's getting a new perspective. The Hangman. Pause for reflection, insight. Dare to be different. Dare to be different. Don't go and be what everybody else wants you to be. Dare to be different. Right? And I know a lot of people who have money in the stock market right now are losing big time. If you want to look at, who's not in the stock market right now, Warren Buffett. Why isn't he in the stock market right now? He didn't even go into crypto. What is he buying? Gold and silver. So you got to learn from the big guys. And that's same with Tony Robbins. I mean, he's another guy who's learned from these guys, and he's not in the market either. He's like, okay, what are they doing? What are they doing? And again, this is really looking at what it is that you need to do for yourself and looking at a new perspective. But as I said, the only way I can see a lockdown that's going to happen is that if people take this new shot that's going to be coming in with a new variant that's coming forward, of course it's, whatever, there'd be a huge death count in the world. And that means that people that are in power, people, they would have to do a military lockdown, martial law, because if so many people die, that means they have to have martial law. Just saying. That's the only way. I'm not saying that's happening. That's just one crazy scenario that's there. Not saying it's going to, but it's just a crazy scenario. As we go forward into this energy, and we're into the Virgo season. So a lot of nerves, a lot of people's nerves, a lot of things are going to be triggered. A lot of people are going to get triggered. So there's a lot of triggering energy that's coming in, and what that triggering energy is going to do. So there you go. There you go, people. If you're wanting a reading, definitely get a hold of me, and we can book you in for a reading. Yeah. What else is going on? I did go on this fintech thing with EI, and it was interesting. And they want to offer training to do with, what do they want to offer training? Core training, cybersecurity, and digital banking. And then they have things to do like accounting, financial services, and something else. Oh, a call-in center. to be trained to go into a call. I could not do a fucking call-in center. I'd end up telling somebody to fuck off. But the part of the call-in center that they want to train you for, which is interesting, is to do with collections and doing collections. So that's very interesting in itself, how many people they're going to be getting in there. The financial one has to do with loans and stuff like that. But there's going to be a high pressure on people doing loans right now to get people to take the loans and and some of those loans are going to be radical, just radical. I don't know if I could do that, force somebody to get themselves into debt and with the possibility of losing their house. So there's going to be enough of that going on, in the next coming months or coming years. Let's say in the coming months, there's going to be a lot of people losing their homes, and those are people who have overextended themselves within their home. And as I say, there's not going to be, possibly there's not going to be the 5-year terms that people have taken before. So there's going to be changes within that. So there's only, I think, maybe a 3-year term or even less for renewals. So, and that's because the market is so messed up right now. And with the market being so messed up, the banks are going to be in a desperate need to get money and to keep them afloat. It's just like the insurance companies. They don't have the money to reimburse people if something happens. That's why you're seeing, you're seeing these things about life insurance and all of that. Yeah, some of those guys aren't going to be able to pay out because they won't have the financials to pay out. And the other reason why they're not going to have it is that you're not going to have the population to pay into it as well. So some companies are stopping rental insurance as well. So if you're in a rental, next year they're not doing rental insurance. Some companies are not doing mortgage insurance or housing insurance on your house, or they're doing a very limited. So it's going to be harder for people to get mortgages because of the insurance. And they're not being able to get the full insurance that they need. Some insurance guys are going to say, "Oh, that's bullshit." But these are some of the guys that are saying bullshit. I'm just like, how old are you? Did you live through 2008, 2009? No. They think that this is all puff of smoke and it's all going to blow over. And it's not. It's not a puff of smoke. It's not going to blow over right now. We're in this for quite some time, and it's going to be a huge rebuilding and structural rebuilding of a society as we watch everything crumble. But there's going to be a rebuild with it. So that's going to be the difficult part for a lot of people because we're heading into hard times, very hard times. So it's pulling up your bootstraps and putting on your big girl panties because we're heading into the big waves. So get ready. We've gone through a lot, but we're going through a lot more. And this is, be prepared. And here's the other crazy thing. Have fun. Enjoy. Get the knowledge, but you got to enjoy it. You got to still have fun with your life. You got to still enjoy the things that you need to enjoy in your life. That's very important too, as well. So as you think something is so important, you think this is the most important thing in your life, and oh my God, if I lose this, if I lose that, and my life is over. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Enjoy, and enjoy the things that you do have. Appreciate everything you have in your life. Totally appreciate it. Because a lot of people don't. They don't appreciate anything until it's gone. So appreciate everything that you have right now. It's very important. So on that note, may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. And have a blessed one. Definitely, if you want to book in a reading, get a hold of me so you can book in a reading. And let's carry on, people. Carry on. Bye-bye.